Relation between elements. Here we can see a function that's very easy to configure. In this example, we have a process where we input some information in the start message event. And once the information is input here, the flow is going to be redirected to the system task where we have a creator system task and we're going to create a new record. So once this flow reaches this object, it's going to create a new record here, but we want to relate this new record to an existing country. So we have a family of countries and we have a family of cities. And in the family of cities, we just created a new record with all the data that we have here in the panel of our process. So here we input some data. The flow went down here, it created the record. And here we can see that we have a prefix in the panel of the process that says Japan. This means that in this prefix, we've actually selected one of these items here, one of these elements, and the element is Japan, okay? So when the flow reaches this other system task, TS2, what we want this system task to do, we want it to relate this new record that we just created, we want to relate it with this country, with this existing country that we have selected in this prefix, okay? So when the flow reaches this object, it's going to relate this element in this family to this other element in this other family. Obviously, in order to do this, first, we need to have created a relation between both of these families. So once we have our relation map created, once we have our data entities, our families created, and once we set up our process, then we can configure one of these system tasks that allows us to automatically relate an element of one family with an element of another family. Let's enter the application and see an example. Here we can see a process where the flow reaches the system task down here. And basically what we're going to do, we're going to click here on Create New. We're going to select the relation, okay? Here we've selected a relation one-to-one between real estate agents and sale processes. And then over here, we're going to indicate what do we want to do. Do we want to set the relation or do we want to undo it when the flow reaches this object? And then down here, we have to select the prefix. So what the system is going to do, it's going to look for the element selected in this prefix, and it's going to relate it to this process because here we've indicated set relation. Okay. In this case, I selected a class of process, but we could also select another data entity, another family. So if we have two different families, this would actually set a relation between the elements of those two different families.